Oh, what is going on, world? We are live. And if you guys saw the title of this one, today we're going to be reviewing my blood test results from Carnivore Diet. Yes, today is actually day 96 of the Carnivore Diet, but we're going back to day 71 and we're going to review my blood work. So again, on day 71, I got a blood test done because a lot of people were saying, I'd love to see your blood work and how that all looks. So we're going to dive into that today. But if anyone's popping into the live stream here, please let me know if you can hear me well, if you can see me well. I'm doing something a little different today. Today we have the Yeti mic here. Maybe we'll do some blood work ASMR after. So if you guys can hear me and see me well, let me know in the comment section there, and we'll pop into my blood test results from 71 days of the Carnivore Diet. Interesting results here. I think a lot of people were expecting to see some negative stuff, and I guess we'll pop into it in a sec. But again, if you guys can hear me well, see me well, let me know in the comment section there. Also, let me know where you're from in the world, and we're going to pop right into this. So let's start taking a look here. Let's take a gander at my blood test results. So I'm just going to pull this a little separate here. Give me one moment, and we'll take a look. But yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me, if you can see me well, and we're going to start this up. So Chrome tab, Dynacare, boom. All right, so here we go. Oh, actually, this is the wrong thing. I'm going to be showing you guys application window. Yes. All right, so here we go. So I hope this isn't showing any important information here, but basically, shout out to Mina. He was able to hook me up with a blood test here in Canada, and we're gonna take a look at some of my results here. So Dynacare Plus is like a lab here in London where you can get your blood work done and your blood test. So I did the basic blood test, plus I got like my vitamin D levels checked. So I paid an extra like $30 on top of my normal blood test just to get you guys as much information as I could here. So cycling through summary of your results. So again, this is 71 days of Carnivore Diet. At day 71, I haven't had one plant source. No vegetables, no fruits, no supplements, nothing. I didn't even do things like coffee or pepper because that's technically a seed. I went very, very strict with this here because I wanted to prove and justify and see how the carnivore diet works. So again, if people are popping in the chat here, let me know if you guys can hear me. You can see me well. I'm doing something new with the Yeti mic. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me here. And but we're going to go through this here. So as you can see, the normal range, 35 of my markers were normal. We had one in the abnormal range. And I'm going to show you guys here. Well, I don't even think it is that abnormal. Can you guys guess what the abnormal range was? What do you guys think one of the markers was that was out of range? So this is just how to actually read your blood test. What if my result is abnormal and all this kind of stuff? But let's pop into it here. So your test results, complete blood count, hemoglobin, normal, hematocrit, normal, red blood cell count, normal. Again, out of the 35 or 36 markers that they tested for me, everything is normal. Everything is average. Everything is on point. Nothing was wrong with my blood work. After 71 days of eating only meat, and then around day 30, I started implementing I was eating eggs, meat, and bacon for the first like 20 to 30 days. Then I began adding dairy in the form of cheese, and I started implementing honey around the 30-day mark. If you guys are interested, I was documenting like up from day 1 to day 20. Every single day I documented it. And then after like that, like I think I documented like day 25, day 30, day 42, day 66, and I have a day 95 coming out. But over this time, I just kind of like my days were getting very normal. Everything was getting very average. After day 12, like I went through some weird like poop stuff going on in the first couple weeks. But once I adjusted and I adapted to this diet, everything was on point. My energy levels were great. Everything was great. So I wanted to see, like what is going on inside my body, especially if I feel this great and if everything's working out very well. All right, Greg in the chat there says, yes, we can hear you. Awesome, perfect. But as you guys see here, every one of my markers here in regards to my blood count is great. My neutrophils, my lymphocytes, monocytes. I don't even know if I'm saying half of these things right, but everything is normal. Everything is on point. Everything is within the healthy and normal range. So we're going to continue down here. My creatinine, this is what some people believe. And if you guys go back to my growth hormone experiments that I did, I pissed in a cup, sent it off to Calgary after I did the perfect month, where I believe I was optimizing my growth hormone levels as much as I possibly could by manipulating factors that just naturally affect us in life, like my food and nutrition, like things like fasting, my exercising, my physical activity, going to the sauna, getting proper sleep, trying to reduce my stress. And I got my creatinine levels tested. And actually, I'll see if I can pull those up here really quick for you guys, since we're on this subject. Growth hormone. Let's get this here for you guys, and I'll show you guys a little about my growth hormone results. So this is a throwback to about 2017 here. I'll just have to change the screen share real quick. We're going to share application window. Just share my entire screen. So yeah, this is throwback to 2017. I got my urine checked for my growth hormone levels, my creatinine, and this was the results here. So 3,900, 95% male growth hormone output. And as you see here, the averages is like from 20% to 80% is the average range for males. So they're saying 200 to 2,200, which to me, that's a little crazy that they're willing to accept this range so large. And again, the high of the average there is 2,200, where I had 3,900. And if you guys follow along my journey, I show how your testosterone levels are greatly affected by your growth hormone levels. And if you can naturally enhance your growth hormone levels through your everyday physical activity in life, I believe, and I've broken this down in a lot of videos, how your growth hormone is a precursor to your testosterone levels. So what I try to say, I made a post today on Instagram that you can work out as much as you want. You can tear those muscle fibers up. But if you don't have the fundamentals, the key fundamentals to repair those tears in your muscle, which is a lot of testosterone, it's amino acids and proteins. Again, go check out like my growth hormone videos. That's how your muscles actually grow, because it's during the repair and recovery phase. So if you are, for instance, lacking in testosterone or lacking in growth hormone, because growth hormone, again, is the precursor to testosterone, you won't repair your muscles as well. You won't gain as much muscle as you possibly can. And as you can see there, at the age of 27, just by manipulating the natural factors in my life, I wasn't taking any supplements at this point. I had extremely high growth hormone levels. Now I switch here, and this was after 2 days of drinking like the typical college student, I called it. So you guys can go check out those growth hormone experiments, and where I did the, like how does your growth hormone levels are affected by a typical college weekend. And you can see my growth hormone levels dropped from 95% and 3,900 creatinine in my urine down to 560. So it dropped to 35%. So just there. And I was also like affecting other factors in my life. So my sleep got affected by that college weekend of drinking. My fasting time got affected because I was drinking late into the night rather than ending my fasting window early. So this was a typical like an experiment I did to see how alcohol affects our growth hormone levels. And then this is from where I did 3 back-to-back tests. And as you can see here, so back in May of 2016, so I was 16 years old, got my creatinine, my growth hormone levels checked. I was 3,500 output, which again is a lot higher than the average range for males. I had a 94% output. Then I did a week later, I got another test done. I was at 3,700, 94%. So again, go check out my growth hormone experiments videos. What I did is over April, I did the perfect month where I, again, try to optimize my growth hormone levels as much as possible. Then each Wednesday at 8 in the morning, I did these growth hormone tests. I did it at like 20 hours fasted in the morning. The day before, I didn't do like heavy lifting because I believe heavy lifting can result in growth hormone increases in the body, but it also depletes your growth hormone because, again, your body's recovering from it. So I think it's important to, and again, I dive deeper in these other videos, but to mix up your lifting. If you're lifting heavy all the time, I believe you're sapping as much growth hormone as you're going to produce more growth hormone because you're lifting heavy, but then your body needs to use that growth hormone and that testosterone to recover from it. So that's why I think you need to mix up your workouts. You need to do some volume, some heavy lifting. So again, these days before these tests, I didn't lift as heavy. I went to the sauna the night before. I made sure I got decent sleep and I got extremely high growth hormone levels. Then, so this is again back in May of 2016, after I did this perfect month and I tried to maintain what I believe affects our natural growth hormone levels as much as possible. And then I decided, because this was May 2-4 weekend here in Canada, that weekend I did some drinking. And then I decided, okay, I mixed in this like light drinking over the weekend. And I'm getting this test done on Wednesday at 8 in the morning. So I'm going to manipulate things and see, how will these factors affect my growth hormone levels? So the next couple of days, I decided to go to the gym. And when I pissed in the cup in the morning, I made sure I ate late the night before. Like I stopped eating at like midnight. So when I woke up in the morning, I was only at 8 hours fasted. And this was my results after that. After manipulating things, having a light drinking on the weekend, going to the gym the night before and not doing sauna, my growth hormone levels dropped down to 31% and 490 creatinine output, which is on the low range for the average of males there. So again, what I'm very interested in, and I'd love to recreate this test here, is to see if I kept fasting, would my growth hormone levels slowly peak up throughout the day? And in turn, increase my testosterone levels. Now, again, I think you can increase your growth hormone on one day, like through fasting, because I've shown in videos your growth hormone increases 1,500 to 2,000% by fasting for 20 to 24 hours in men. But that's not like going to give you this huge boost where you're going to get crazy gains. Like you got to maintain that long term throughout your life. Spiking it for one day and only having it for one day is not going to lead to any crazy results, right? So again, this is a little test here. This was a little experiment that I did where, again, you guys can go back, see on my main YouTube channel page. I'll share it here with you guys. But if you guys go check out my growth hormone test results, you guys can see how I structured these experiments, how I manipulated the factors in my life to produce this natural high levels of growth hormone in my body. So again, go on my main channel page. If you guys scroll down here to growth hormone experiments. Again, I prove and show you how I was natural this whole time, not taking any kind of supplements, not doing anything abnormal. I was just living a healthy lifestyle, whatever healthy is really considered. But I think this is the ultimate definition of a healthy lifestyle. If you can show how your hormone levels are naturally elevated to the peak that they can be, I believe that's the healthiest we can be in life. And how just by manipulating and tweaking a few factors in life, I can greatly make my growth hormone levels decrease. I think that goes to show something there. So I got off on a little bit of a tangent here, but let's go back to my blood test results from the carnivore diet here. So I just got to pull it back up here. All right, here we go. So again, I wanted to dive into the whole factor of creatinine. So here, my creatinine isn't anything like on the high end. So I think that's interesting. I believe Frank Tofano and a couple other carnivore diet people who have reviewed their growth hormone levels while on the carnivore diet found that they were actually a little lower compared to when they were eating a normal balanced diet. Now, I haven't done a lot of research in that area, so I'd have to dive in more for myself. But again, I was hoping and honestly expecting to see my estimated creatinine levels a little bit higher. just because I'm still doing things like fasting throughout the day. I'm still optimizing my growth hormones as much as I can. The only factor that I've changed for this experiment compared to my typical growth hormone experiments and trying to stay naturally optimized as I possibly can be to focus on long-term disease prevention and health, as well as long-term muscle growth by optimizing my growth hormone, my testosterone levels. Again, I thought it'd be a lot higher than this. So they're saying the high end, like the low on the average is 60, the high is 110, where I'm at the 100 ml range. Whereas you guys saw, and again, this is a different factor here that's being measured compared to what I just showed you for those growth hormone test results, where it's measuring the so it's saying 89 UMOL here for my creatinine, whereas for the growth hormone, it's measuring PG/GCR. So there's different, it's being measured in a different way. But again, I thought it would be a little higher than that. So that's interesting to me. Maybe that is something that comes along with this, is that with the carnivore diet, your growth hormone and testosterone levels aren't as high. I don't know. Again, I've seen a couple little things here. So as you can see here, you can see some red marks. We'll hop into that in one sec. So we'll kind of hide that for a moment here. That's what we're going to get to in a moment. But my calcium, people question, because how else do you get calcium in your diet if you're not, you can really only get it from the dairy. But again, I was having dairy, I was having cheese. And if you guys go check out some of my videos, some days I was eating like your typical grocery store cheese. But for the most part, I was getting my cheese from a local farmer's market here in London, Ontario. I was getting my cheese sourced from Water Buffalo, which is from an hour outside of here in London, 100% grass-fed, or at least that's what the label is. And it's from Eco Farms here in London, Ontario. So as you can see, my calcium is right on point. 2.15 to 2.60 is the average, and mine was 2.53. Phosphorus is on point. Magnesium's on point. My uric acid, bilirubin. Again, I don't even know and understand all these. I'm not a professional. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. But I'm trying to show you guys this and what I do understand from it. And this is why I think it's very important to digest information and stuff from people like this, like Paul Saladino's The Carnivore Code, to actually read and dive into this stuff before you hop into these diets, before you just start manipulating, before you hop on a vegan diet, before you hop on a carnivore diet, before you change anything. Start reading and trying to develop as much knowledge as you can in these areas. But let's hop back into it. So this is where you can actually see some of my markers are off here. So as we can see, my total cholesterol, you want to be on the low end here, 5.20, and mine was 6.04, saying it's high. Now, my triglycerides are on point. My HDL cholesterol is on point. My LDL cholesterol is 3.45 uninterpreted. My non-HDL cholesterol is on point here. And my total cholesterol HDL ratio is 2.5 uninterpreted. So let's actually dive into this a little bit here. Why was my cholesterol high? What is the average cholesterol for people? So I think we can only trust so much on these averages, because they're taking these averages from the typical American diet, from the typical American lifestyle over the last 50 to 100 years here. So these averages that we're comparing my blood work to may not even be the best averages to compare to. Are we supposed to be eating as much carbohydrates as we are eating in these standard, typical North American diets and North American lifestyles? I truly don't believe so. And same with Paul Saladino here from the Carnivore Code. So what he says in his book, this is on page 290 of the Carnivore Code. I think he just released a new book, like an updated version. But in this one, will my LDL and cholesterol rise on a carnivore diet? It may. LDL doesn't rise for everyone who eats this way, but for many people, LDL will rise, and that's probably a good thing. If you're still fearful of LDL, you may want to refer to our previous extensive discussion of the many valuable roles this particle has in the body and all of the data suggesting that in people who aren't insulin resistant. So this is a big thing. More LDL is probably protective due to its immunological functions. So this is a big thing that Dr. Paul Saladino is bringing up in his book and everything he's preaching in the world right now, especially with the current pandemic and the current virus, is that a lot of people are insulin resistant. So they're eating so much carbohydrates that their body isn't sensitive to it. their body isn't adjusting. Like when I eat honey and when I eat carbohydrates now, where it's just only from honey, like my body is very aware of it. I get an energy boost from it. Whereas people are eating carbohydrates so much throughout their day now that we have like, what adult onset diabetes is something that's occurring in children nowadays. There's too much carbohydrates in our system and in our diets. And that might be a possible negative to the whole vegan diet, because a lot of the vegan diet is focused around carbohydrates and carbohydrate intake. So a lot of people in society right now are insulin resistant versus someone like me, or insulin resistant. I might be saying it wrong there, but you want your body to be sensitive to carbohydrates. You don't want your body to be getting these things in every single day, all the time, spread throughout the day, or else your body gets used to it and adapts to it and doesn't get the great benefits it does from it. This is why I suggest doing things like intermittent fasting, because it gives your body that time to naturally deplete the carbohydrates from your body. You'll either burn it up through physical exercise or by not putting enough, not shoveling carbohydrates into your body every few hours, you're going to naturally deplete that away. And then your body's going to be running on fat for fuel. I think that's very important. But again, it's not something you can just do in one day. You can definitely deplete the carbohydrates from your system if you've been eating a shitty diet and a shitty lifestyle long term, and you'll deplete it. But something that I've shown, you can go back to some of my older videos. I had a lady, Samantha, on my channel, and she wanted to start intermittent fasting, and she was telling me she was getting migraines after starting intermittent fasting. And I told her, what's happening right now, the reason you're getting migraines is because your body is not used to not having carbohydrates in your system. You, for the last 5, 10, 20 years that you've been eating this normal diet, this normal lifestyle, your body is so used to carbohydrates that it's like a withdrawal. It's like an addict who stopped taking a drug and it's having withdrawals from it. That your body's like, what the fuck? I don't know how to function without carbohydrates. So here's like a message to your brain to be like, get this stuff in your system. And you actually suffer negative side effects from it. So it takes time for your body to adapt to not having carbohydrates in your system if your body is already adapted to this. And you need to get your body sensitive to it. So that's why I believe, and I think Dr. Paul Saladino, and I'll show you another doctor here, is going to show that the average cholesterol range may not even be the right average, because we're basing it off of a lot of insulin resistant people who are naturally burning fat for fuel. So our averages for what is the right average range for cholesterol might be very off. But let's continue on here. So in chapter 11, we also discussed that LDL probably rises on a carnivore diet due to increased production of cholesterol within the shared synthesis pathways with ketones. Again, when you're fasting with intermittent fasting, your body, to burn fat for fuel, your brain, its first primary food source that it wants to use is carbohydrates. It's glucose. But when you run out of glucose in your body and in your system, your liver will break down fat for fuel. And your body and your mind, your brain will run off these ketones for fuel. So I don't think a rising LDL on a ketogenic or carnivore diet is anything to worry about as long as markers of insulin sensitivity and inflammation are low. If you're not sure about these, working with a physician or who is familiar with ketogenic philosophy will be helpful. Take home, LDL is not the enemy, and there is no evidence that it is enough to initiate arteriosclerosis on its own. So let's go look at this other doctor here. We'll pop into the comments in one sec. Ooh, I must have went back here to my page, but we're going to go check out Dr. Rhonda Patrick. If you guys don't know Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she's been on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast a bunch. Now, I agree with a lot of what she says. I've done a bunch of videos breaking down her sauna videos where she's talking about how sauna can naturally increase IGF-1 in the body. And similar to growth hormone, IGF-1 is a precursor to testosterone production. When your body goes to like repair those fibers after you've torn them up in the gym, I've broken this down in other muscle growth videos. Your body wants IGF-1 and growth hormone. So you want to make sure you have both of these plentiful in your body. So what she says here, the oversimplified view that high-density lipoprotein, so HDL cholesterol, is good, and that low-density lipoprotein, LDL cholesterol, is bad, has led to misunderstandings of the relationship between cholesterol and cardiovascular disease risk. Research suggests that people with evidence of heart disease tend to have more small dense LDL particles, whereas healthy individuals tend to possess more large buoyant LDL particles. Even though small dense particles carry less cholesterol, they are more apt to deposit in the artery wall and become oxidized, thus leading to artery damage. In this clip, Dr. Ronald Krauss discusses that in clinical practice, cholesterol particle size may be more relevant than the amount of cholesterol. So we're seeing here that they still don't even fully understand. They're starting to see that particle size of cholesterol may be the ultimate factor in whether you have heart disease risk rather than actually how much cholesterol in the body. So looking at my cholesterol results here, it was this page here, being a little high is something that I'm really not concerned about. Because one, we still don't fully understand it. Two, the averages is comparing to most likely averages with the standard American diet and people who are insulin resistant. So here we can dive in a little deeper. So my blood test work, I can check my results here on the on this live view, and it has a lot better of a breakdown, and I can break down my results even better here. So this just again breaks down everything, every part of my work here. So what we're going to do is now let's scroll down a little bit. So my triglycerides, again, were on point. And what we had here was HDL cholesterol. So actually right back up to cholesterol. As you can see, I'm just right on the edge of high. It's not even like dangerously high compared to, again, the averages. It's just right over. I'm very close to normal in regards to my cholesterol after 71 days of a carnivore diet. Now back down here. So what we saw, if we look at my other one, my HDL cholesterol is on point. It's normal. And then what we had here, so again, we're talking about LDL cholesterol. And here, I don't have averages to compare to, right? I had 3.45 mmol/L. So that's my LDL cholesterol. So when we actually go over here and we look at, if we look at this, so this is from myhealthalberta.ca. If you guys are in the States, you guys might have some different factors. Again, comparing to like my growth hormone results, one's in PG/GCR versus this one's in mmol. So you might have different factors if you guys are Americans versus us Canadians here. But if we look for LDL cholesterol, what's bad, what's good? Mine was, again, 3.45. 3.5 to 4.1 is considered borderline high. 2.6 to 3.4 is considered near optimal. So again, I don't have the averages here to compare to, but again, 3.45, I'm considered optimal range for my LDL. Something else, is it in this one to look at? No, not this one. So back to my test results here. So the only other uninterpreted data that we had was my total cholesterol and HDL ratio. So the ratio between cholesterol and my HDL levels. So if we go over here, scroll down, again, my non-HDL cholesterol is normal, close to the middle, but still normal. And then we go to 2.5 for my total cholesterol HDL. Again, here, we don't have an average to compare to. So let's go check here. This is from the cholesterol guide reviewsolution.com. I don't know, again, how well we can compare and use this, but again, I had a 2.5. If we look here, the normal levels of cholesterol ratio, scroll down, the normal levels of cholesterol ratio for total cholesterol to HDL should be below 4. A very good ratio is 3.5. Excellent is 3.0. Fantastic is 2.6. And as you guys saw there, I have 2.5. So my cholesterol ratio levels, my levels of cholesterol ratio are fantastic. Fantastic after 71 days of doing the carnivore diet. And if you can see here, if you can get your ratio down to between 2.4 and 2.8, you can actually experience a reversal of heart disease. So after 71 days of doing the carnivore diet, my cholesterol in one factor is saying it's a little bit high. And here it's saying I might be actually reversing heart disease. That's pretty crazy, guys. A lot of people thought that my blood work was going to be crazy after being 71 days. I honestly had no idea what to expect, but I'm very glad that I got this done and I got to see this for myself. So this is amazing. So Vitamin B12 on point, ferritin on point, sodium on point, potassium on point, chloride on point, alanine levels on point, my thyroid stimulating hormone on point. Everything is on point. And my cholesterol says I'm fantastic in regards to my ratio, which is the most important thing, is the ratio of your cholesterol levels. And I might be reducing heart disease, reversing heart disease, if I even have any in my body. So there we have it, guys. That's my blood test results after 71 days of being on the carnivore diet. Along with that, I'm going to dive into some more videos coming up here in the next week or two. But I'm almost on day 100. Today's day 96. And I feel fucking amazing. Ever since the gyms opened back up because of the pandemic, I've been experiencing some crazy results. I'm seeing growth weekly, even sometimes daily, which is a little crazy to think. But I can see I've been judging myself so long for the last 10 years, checking myself in the mirror, weighing myself for several years, keeping track of my calories, that I can see when I'm growing and when I'm regressing and when I'm not growing, when I'm not changing. And I'm not going to dive too deep into it here, but I'm really considering continuing this diet because it's fascinating the results I'm getting right now. It's fascinating. So let's check out some of the chat here. Appreciate everyone being in here. Rise Above Lifestyle Official says, Pete, really excited to see the results of your carnivore diet. We'll have to start from the beginning. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate having you guys on my journey. Appreciate following you along. Guys, go check out Rise Above Lifestyle on Instagram. I love his content. I think it's great. It's very motivational. He said, any results regarding inflammation or glucose metabolism? So again, I just showed all my results there. You'll have to go double check for yourself. Again, I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I just taking the research that I see and I understand, and I saw these abnormal results. And when I go review what some doctors are saying, I'm sharing those results. Leonard Samuel says, you don't want to be on the low level of cholesterol. They goal target numbers are jacked. Yeah, that's what I kind of explained here in this video, is like the average are fucked because we're basing those averages off most likely unhealthy people. We're basing it off like the average citizen. Like, I want to know what's the most optimal citizen. Like, I want to know what like compared to an athlete, right? So this is some stuff where, like, again, we're using the averages from people who are eating these shitty diets, who are living these shitty lifestyles anyways. So I don't even though I was on point with all those averages, who knows 100% if any of those averages could be slightly skewed and slightly off. Now, again, this is what doctors use to see if you need any kind of medication, if you're sick, if anything's wrong with your body. And if we can review it again here real quick, but everything is on point. Everything is normal. Everything is going great with my blood test results on day 71 of the carnivore diet. And the only thing that was slightly off here was my total cholesterol, which again, I explained here. And my LDL cholesterol, my total HDL was uninterpreted. So we didn't have averages to compare to, but I showed you guys that like here, I'm near optimal range. I'm right there to slightly close to borderline high. And my cholesterol ratio is fantastic and actually experiencing a reversal of heart disease. So really appreciate having you guys in the chat here and sharing my blood test results with you guys. If you're watching this video later and you see this, share this with some of your friends or share this live stream right now. Show people, look, this guy just did 71 days of the carnivore diet and his blood test results are on point. Everything's fine with him. Guys, go check out my Instagram. I posted up a day 95 photo. This might sound egotistical, but I'm looking the best I have ever looked in my whole life. I feel the best I've ever felt in my whole life. After 95 days of not having one single plant source, no vegetables, no fruits, no leafy greens, no superfoods, no supplements, no coffee, no pepper, because those are both considered seeds. Like, I've only been eating meat, eggs, dairy in the form of cheese, honey, and about once to twice a week, I'll have salmon and shrimp. That's all I've been eating for the last 95 days. Now, I will give you guys a little teaser here. Today, I actually had my first cup of coffee in 95 days. And I'm going to make a video right after that discussing that experience. I got a crazy energy boost. I actually felt really good, but I did it while I was fasted. And after my stomach started gurgling, I actually got I felt like really blocked up. Like I felt like some pain inside my gut. So that's something I want to share and discuss, that for ever since like day 12 to day 95, I haven't heard my stomach grumble. I haven't had any pain in my stomach. I haven't had anything like that. And after having a double espresso and a coffee in the course of like 2.5 hours, like again, I got a crazy energy boost. I felt great for a little bit, but then I started to feel like pain inside. Now, again, I think like most things, it takes time to adapt to it. This is the first plant source I added into my body in 95 days. And I'm not going to have coffee until I'm done 100 days. I was just like, this is the perfect time. I went and visited my mom. She got a nice new Nespresso. And I was like, we're sitting down here. I'm pretty much done this experiment. You know, I don't think it's a big deal to have a coffee right now. Like I'm getting great results with this. And so I wanted to see what a coffee would be like. And wow, like until I ate food, I was experiencing pain inside. So I'm about to make a video about that so I can release that in the next day or two here and share that experience with you guys. But for the most part, I'm almost done this 100-day experiment and I'm really enjoying it. And again, honestly, a little sneak peek here. I'm really considering continuing this experiment. So again, really appreciate you guys hopping in the chat here. We got Dan Bergeron says, just tuned in, brother. Your numbers look great. I've been carnivore for 5 months and I'm loving it. That's amazing, bro. Go get your blood test results done and we'll compare it to mine. I think that'd be cool to see. So we got Lager Beer says, yo, man, best of luck to you. And Hari Krish says, you always put out quality content, mate. I learned so much about intermittent fasting from you, which helped me a lot with digestion and losing fat. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that comment. Appreciate having you guys on my path and my journey. But this is going to be it for me today. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you guys are watching this video later, or maybe you're watching this live stream, please go smash that like button. Let's spread this content around a little bit. Let's go try to break down some people's limiting barriers and show them, look, this dude at day 71 of eating only meat and animal byproducts and eating the healthiest he can from it, eating as much grass-fed as he can, as local as he can, has great blood test results. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Hungarian Experiment. See you guys.